back to my channel. If you're new here, just know that on this channel I talk about my journey and adventures living outside the United States in Monte, Ecuador, and all that comes with that. Also some budgeting and hair things as well. So if that's something you're interested in, if you're looking into moving out of the US or just want to know more about the whole journey, please hit that subscribe button. My hope also on this channel is to give everyone here the resources or any information I may have to you that may help your transition if this is something you want to do as well. So in this specific video, I'm going to be giving you guys 8 things that I'm glad I brought with me when I decided to travel or live abroad for a long period of time. A couple of disclaimers. Number one, I want you guys to know that when I made my choices with what I packed, I did so with the intention of kind of playing 2 things. Number one, I plan on not necessarily traveling to like little places like frequently. Maybe once I find somewhere and I can like country hop once it's safer. But I also don't plan on living in one country for a whole year or however long I am abroad. So kind of keep that in mind, that my choices and what I did was kind of based on not necessarily finding a new home and staying there for a long period of time, like a year or more. But it also wasn't like I'm not backpacking. So just want to put that in perspective. Let's get into this video. Number one, and I'm gonna tell all of y'all this one first because I would have been truly upset if I had not figured this out or done research or knew about this. But number one is a Charles Schwab Visa card, debit card. The reason why I think this is imperative to have is because from the research I've done, I've concluded for me, this is the best card to have as far as a debit card for traveling for a couple reasons. Number one, you get unlimited ATM fee rebates with Charles Schwab. So you go to all these different ATMs, you have to take out cash wherever you are. Charles Schwab at the end of each month will reimburse you for all of those fees. So you're not sitting here ranking up so much money in fees and never seeing that money again. Other reasons I really like them, they don't have any minimum balance requirements. They don't have monthly fees, as well as they don't have foreign transaction fees. That and ATM fees are what killed me whenever I traveled in the past because they rack up really quick. And even though you like swipe your cards like, oh, $1 here, that adds up really quickly. So I love this card. It's great. So definitely look into it. Also, I have a treat for y'all. If you do decide to get this card, click the link down there in the description box. On that link is my referral. And by using that link, you will be able to get a guaranteed $100 once you make your first $1,000 deposit into the account. Now it'll take about 45 days for you to get it. I don't get anything for it, but $100 is $100. So if you guys want that, it's down there in the description box. Also, one thing I want to add, they do a credit pull for you to get this card. So if that's something, I don't want to come off like I'm trying to deceive anyone. They do a credit pull. For me, that wasn't a big con because it kind of just a pull to check your credit and to approve you for the card, and then like any other pull eventually goes away. So just wanted to be transparent and give you guys that information. Number two is for people who menstruate. If you are traveling and you menstruate, you need to get a menstrual cup because I think it's just a great idea. A menstrual cup is great because you save money. You're not buying pads and tampons monthly, bi-month, whatever the case may be. It's good for the environment because you're not producing as much waste with those paper like products. And also it's travel friendly. Not only is it going to fit in the size of your bag very easily, rather than like a full like thing of tampons or pads, but also you only need to change it about every 12 hours. So think about how many times every time you go to the bathroom changing tampons, pads, different things like that. Really will save you space your suitcase and save you some time. With a menstrual cup, it is going to be a little bit of learning curve at first, learning how to use it and put it in and things like that. Outside of that, I think it's a great thing to have when traveling. Like I said, saves you a lot of space. Also, I know there are some countries where certain types of menstrual products are not as accessible as others. For example, a lot of people would tell me in Thailand, I didn't use them, that they had a harder time finding tampons or whatever the case may be. So definitely recommend that. I have two. I've used a June cup and a menstrual cup that I got off My Femme Health. I will link the both of them in the description box. So if you want to check them out, I would say those are a great way to start, or whatever. There's so many out there. You'll just do a quick search. You'll see there's so many different kinds, so many different types. So whatever you need, there should be one out there for you. Number three, I highly suggest that you bring currency for wherever you are going. The reason I say this is for a couple reasons. Number one, when you're first going to a new country, even if you have your travel, your transportation, your hotel, everything planned out to a T, things can still happen. Things can always still happen. It's life. So I would definitely suggest, if you can, go to your bank, and you can either order currency or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you can get it at the airport, whatever is best for you. But I'll just make sure having those dollars, especially if you're going somewhere where you don't know, or maybe you weren't sure that if cards or credit cards were as accepted. That way you have cash, you can take a taxi if your transportation falls through, or whatever the case may be. And also, it gives you time the first day or two you're there, that you can kind of just figure things out, like, okay, like which ATM do I want to use, like different things like that. So I would highly suggest that, and make sure you have some currency. Number four is clothes and shoes. That sounds kind of weird, but I say that for a couple reasons. Number one, if you are picky about what you wear, or number two, if you wear very small sizes or very big sizes in clothes. Me personally, I wear plus size clothes. So for me, I always make sure whenever I travel, I have the base necessities of clothing that I like to wear. So like solid colored t-shirts, jeans, shorts, things like that. The reason I do that is because, number one, even though you can do as much research as you can, you don't really know, at least in my experience, so you're on the ground in the place, what types of clothes, what sizes they have, if those sizes are even equal to the sizes that you know of. Because like I said, a 12 in one store can be a 14 or a 16 in another store, whatever the case may be. So that's a big thing. Also, if there's specific brands that you like, so say there's a specific type of brand of jeans that you like, or there's a specific type of shoes that you want to wear. So like me, when I went to Thailand, I made sure I had chacos, which are really great for trekking or hiking, whatever like that. They're like sandals, they offer great support. I made sure I had those before I left, and I'm really glad I did, because they may not have been, I don't even know if they're available in Thailand where I went. So these are things to think about. Also, I've always been able to find a few things wherever country I do go to, but it's not always as accessible or as in your face as if maybe in the US. So while I can find clothes, plus size clothes in Ecuador or Thailand or whatever the case may be, it takes a little bit more digging, and you don't really want to be scrounging looking for clothes and things when you're first getting to a new country. Number five may seem redundant, but masks. The reason I say that is because with COVID-19, masks have become so vital. You can't go into a lot of stores, pretty much anywhere, without wearing a mask. So number one, you want to make sure you have some, so that once you get to a new country, in case you have to do some figuring out of where to buy masks, where are they sold, things like that. I was lucky when I came to Ecuador, I was happy to find that they're even sold in just the grocery stores. But I would assume that's not always the case in all countries and all places. Also, if there's a specific type of mask that you want for traveling, say you want to feel a little bit more safer and wear a K95 or an N95 mask while traveling on the flight in the airport, that's also something to consider as well. Number six is hair care products. If you have black hair, and I won't say this, I can't say that for everyone, but if you have hair that you do not just use basic over-the-counter grocery store Products, I would highly, highly, highly suggest bringing your hair care products with you. This is how many products I brought with me when I traveled. That's a lot. So, the reason I say this is number one, you may not be able to find certain products in certain countries. And honestly, for me, certain things I don't want to have to scramble and try to look for when I first get to a new country. So at the very bare minimum, have enough for you to cover you the first month or two if you're planning, say, like moving there the rest of your life. Unless you plan on doing trips back and forth to the US to get more products, or if you plan on going to that new country and then finding new products that you will use and transition to. But if that's not the case, if you're planning on living abroad for about a year or whatever, long term, and you don't plan on going back to the US and don't know if you can find those products, I highly suggest, like me, just packing all of them. I packed a lot. I think one of my suitcases, I brought 2 suitcases here, and I think one of them was just mostly hair care products. So these are things to consider because they might not have the brand you like, they might not be like the quality or the things that you usually use in your hair. Also, it's just important that you are able to have the flexibility to take care of your hair the way you want to when you're traveling. Because the last thing you want is to not feel beautiful and not feel like you can take proper care of yourself when you are in a new country or in a new surrounding. So, things to consider. Number seven is a little more general. Beauty products, makeup, things like that. The reason I say is like before, like hair care products. They may not have the brands or specific things that you want to use. So while pretty much a lot of places will probably have Dove, will they have the specific scent you need? Will it have the same chemicals or will it be the exact same? Not always the case. The reason I say this is, for example, in Asia, when I was living in Thailand, a lot of products in Thailand had bleach in them. That's not something I wanted to use on my skin. So like body washes, face creams, like all these different things have bleach in them. So had I not brought my own thing, I would have had to probably do a little bit more work either to try to find some that didn't have bleach or, I don't know, figure something out. So I think it's very important that if you are traveling, bring the products or the things that you need that are specific to making sure that you can take care of yourself, whether that's makeup. Also, another thing with makeup, with having darker skin, I could not find my foundation, concealer, anything like that in my color in Thailand. And that's because there's not a lot of people that are my color in Thailand necessarily. So also look into your country and figuring out like as little as making sure if they have the colors or whatever you need for your skin tone, or if they even have products that are up to the standards, like not having bleach, not having certain chemicals that you need. Whatever the case may be, do your research, but I would highly suggest to kind of make that more seamless. Also, bring the products with you so you don't have to stress as much when you get there. Number 8, the final one I would suggest that you bring, and I'm glad that I brought, was an international phone. It's not the most high-tech thing. And the reason I say this, or the other option is make sure that your phone is unlocked. The reason I put such emphasis on this is because I spent over an hour on customer service with my old carrier when I was going to Thailand at the time. And I was like, I need you to unlock my phone. And after an hour of sitting on there, like, okay, your phone's unlocked, all good. I get to Thailand and the phone is still not, the guy looks at me, he's like, this phone is not unlocked, this phone is locked. And I'm like, I don't, like, what am I supposed to do at that point? So I would highly suggest either, like I said, making sure your phone's unlocked or get like a nice cheap, this is a Samsung A01 core, I think something like that, under $100 phone, but I like it because it's good for 2 reasons. Number one, I can put a SIM card in it. It's international, so I can put a SIM card in it from pretty much anywhere and it will work. Also, as far as safety, there's some countries where pickpocketing or petty theft are more common. So you walking down the street with an iPhone like 11 whatever may call more attention than if you're carrying a phone that's more like a phone that a local or someone else will be using, which is like a cheaper phone. So I would highly suggest to make sure you have a phone so that way you are able to make calls in the country you're in. And also, I really like this phone. It has a hotspot. Like I said, it's not very expensive. It has a hotspot. A lot of times I'll just connect the hotspot to my phone with the SIM card and data that I bought here in whatever country I am, so I can use my iPhone as well when I'm walking around and I'm out. All right, y'all, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video. Like I said, I hope all these things gave you things to consider if you're planning on moving, traveling, or just going abroad for whatever time. Just remember that you want to make sure that whenever you're traveling, you want to try to take away as much stress and things you have to worry about as possible. So if you can make sure you're prepared ahead of time and you only have to worry about the things that are outside of your control, then you may have a much better time than if you didn't plan ahead. Just things to consider. I probably will say that a lot on the channel. Just consider it. All right, thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you like this video, hit that like button. Also, please subscribe, share this to other people if you think it could be helpful. I really appreciate y'all. And also, hit me up in the comment section. If you have any questions, have any other ideas for other people, let us know down there. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.